What's up, YouTube? Another day at the shop. I wanted to let you know, update. We sold the Volvo last night for 2,700 bucks. Had it posted at 3 grand. Kid offered, so asked me what I'd take. I told him I'd take 2,700. I think we had $1,350 into it total, with the $150 door, the title, all that stuff. So not too bad, you know. We made some money, and off to the next one. We've had this one a little longer than I'd like, but it is what it is. This side came out pretty good for that door being smucked pretty good. The back door still hit, and I've come to the conclusion that this sticks out because the actual door is hit in and tweaked. It's mostly in the door. If I replace that, it would be perfect, but I mean, it's a good running driving car. It's got the timing belt change receipt. This thing's got a lot of life left in it. So that's gone. They put a $200 deposit on it, and they're picking it up Friday. So that's awesome. And got 596 messages on that. Not one person shows up. A guy did want to trade a Banshee for it. I thought about that because those are going for 6 grand. We purchased this bike for 2,500 bucks, cleaned it up, fixed the headlight switch, got that working, runs great, changed the oil, posted it for 4 grand just to see what happens. And I'm getting a ton of messages, just no one wanting to show up. So that will sell, or we will trade it for something. But yeah, if I could have traded that for a Banshee, those are going for 6 grand. I'd gladly sell the Banshee for 4,500 just to make money. You know, who cares what it's worth? We'll just make our couple thousand and run with it. Today, what I'm doing is one of the buses smucked a deer, and it hit it hard. So over the weekend, one of the drivers was 71 miles an hour and 3 deer ran across the road and just nailed them. So this here was just a big hole in the bumper, and I'll show you. I fiberglassed it, and I wanted to document it, but I got busy and I just went to town, and I didn't film any of it. So now I want to show you guys. You can see I rebuilt it from the back side. You can still kind of see where the hole was. The top of the light was busted out. And I've never done a fiberglass job like this. I have fixed cracks and, you know, little stuff like that, but I have never completely filled a hole with a body line right here, a light here. It was actually surprisingly easy. Oh, and it ripped this bracket off. I re-fiberglassed that on. I don't know, I think it turned out pretty sweet. This here had me concerned, and basically what I did was I first went through and just put a strip of fiberglass over all of the cracks, and I got it holding itself together, pulled the bumper skin off, and then laid it flat, and I put fiberglass mat, stretched over the hole, dabbed it, and naturally it was wanting to hang out. So it was hanging out. I let it set up for like 15 minutes, and I started forming it with my fingers, like just bending it, and never knew you could do it, but I formed it when it was, I don't know, 15 minutes in, and it held its shape. So I completely just bent it, put it where I want it, and then in another 10 minutes it was solid. So then I added another 4 or 5 layers of mat, and I don't know what the other stuff is. You got the fiber, and then you've got the mat. And I did 3 layers of this and 2 layers of the mat just because I think that's stronger. But yeah, turned out. It's ugly from the back, but you know, look at it. I still got some more body filler to do, which is why I'm filming now. I want to see how good we can make this, or I can make this. And I just sanded all this down with 50 on my first coat of filler. So we'll see how this turns out. So we've got a bucket of that. I don't think we have a shortage of that. I did my first coat with red hardener. I think I'm gonna, depending on how good this is, I got kneaded up, but I'll do my second coat in blue. That way I can see what I'm working with as I'm working with it. So I can know, you know, high spots, low spots, stuff like that. So let's get this thing on on the bumper and see what happens. And then the rule I was taught was for every golf ball size, you'd use an inch of this, inch and a quarter. So 1, 2 and a half. That's probably a little bit much, but it'll harden faster. Let's get this mixed up before it hardens. All right, I've spread it on there. That's a little dark, so a little more hardener than you would need. A light blue is perfect. The more hardener you use, obviously, the faster it dries. And it's about 57 degrees in this shop. Usually 60s as warm as it gets. So a little more hardener ain't gonna hurt nothing. It's about as smooth as you can get it on. I can get it on there. My biggest focus is dragging these edges with a nice feather, so I don't have some big edge I gotta sand down. I like making it high in the middle, and I can just go over it and sand it smooth. And then I tried building this up. You can see that was low, so I added some filler there. And then I'll do some finishing down in here with a light something, sand that once I get all the shape I want. But yeah, I mean, this thing was cracked. You could see it was cracked all the way down through here, cracked here, big hole here, cracked. It was cracked here. It was all flopping. So it should hold, and it should look better. They have another bumper skin up in the loft on the other side of the building, and they said if we can just fix this one, make it look good, save the other one for, you know, a catastrophic accident that would completely demolish the front bumper. So I think this is going to look pretty good. I thought about painting this inset right there black and make it look like an import, like a race car custom bumper. We could do inside here black, inside there black, and just have, you know, but so it's been about 3 minutes, and yeah, I don't like leaving these big edges. Look what I did. That's gonna take forever to sand, but I was kind of in a hurry. I had a couple spots here I had to get, and I was really focused on this. I really wanted to get this area built up to where I can sand it and shape it. So it is what it is. I'll throw the 50 grit on the orbital. It'll take that down in no time. Check back with you in a minute. Let's see how this looks. On another note, check this out. So after work last night, we spent, I don't know how much time drilling these rivets out. We put the torch to this thing. We tried everything. 10-pound hammer. We could not get those rivets out. This is an OBS Chevy control arm, which he bought because he's going through his old Chevy and, you know, freshening it up, making it nice. His are all rusty and nasty. So we worked on that for an hour and a half and ended up finally just running the drill bit and drilling these things out. What a nightmare, Chevy. I've never had to deal with that before, so I've never seen that they use rivets. So because we figured that out the hard way, just brought this thing right over here and using the drill press. I told him, just reuse the ball joint. No, you can't, but so yeah, drilling these out and just gonna keep going bigger. He's to the point where it kind of needs them. You can see it's gone through, sandblasted it, control arm. Went and picked this up from a guy, sandblasted it, bought new mounts, and put those frame mounts on. But this thing has just been fighting back, but it's coming together now. So this thing should drive pretty good. It's just an old 93 Chevy. All new front end components. I can't wait to see how this thing drives after all the new stuff. Picked up new front fenders. Those are the old ones that come off it. You can see all the old parts just laid out. Got new wheel bearings, all kinds of stuff. These are stuck in the hub, so those got to get drilled out or heated and backed out. And then these are gonna get sandblasted. Yeah, this truck should be pretty nice when it's done. Yeah, you can see right here, look at the old one. See, it was just old and rusty. The old tie rod ends. It's gonna be quite the transformation. It already looks so much better. The truck runs great. It drove decent before. It had some wobble in the steering, and you know, it was just a complete, you know, rust issue. But that's, you know, all the projects keeping us busy around here. Is this dry yet? Pretty dry, a little gummy yet. I don't want to start sanding it. So we'll give this 5 more minutes and go to town. I've sanded it, turned out really well. Now I've gone through with, what is this stuff? Glazing putty and spot putty. So any pinholes, any rough spots, like you can see I did this whole edge with my finger. Now I'll lightly hit that with some 80 and then 120, and I think it will look really good. I had an issue in this corner that I couldn't get into to sand really well. And I've just filled all the little spots with that. I put a little extra on there because there was a low spot, so I'll sand that to where it needs to be. And yeah, let's see if I can find any of the pinholes that I covered. The only thing I don't like about this glazing putty is it takes a while to dry, but it sands very easy. So I can grab some 80 grit with my hand and just lightly sand it, and takes it down perfect. It fills those little spots, and you can see, you know, there's still a crack here, so it's not going to be perfect, but it's not going to have a big hole in it. I'll show you once we sand this. All right, brought it into the booth, primed it. Seems to be looking pretty good. I think one more coat of primer, and we should be able to spray the thing. After this, the paint. This is the paint here, kind of like a gray white. Says 8-to-1. 8 parts, 1 part, 2 parts. We got that. Hopefully that nascent paint doesn't have a bad reaction with this primer. That would be bad news. All right, got our first coat on. It's a single stage paint, so I'm actually surprised at how shiny it is just in the first coat. Probably get away with 3 coats and be done. You can see, I don't know if you can get down. It's pretty smooth, but there's some trash. I mean, this is a dusty room. It doesn't get used often. I probably could have swept the floor, cleaned it up, but you know, either way, I'm pretty surprised. Yeah, right there, you can kind of see the dust. And I wiped the bumper off, but maybe as I was walking around or shuffling in here, it kicked up some dust. But overall, I think that looks pretty good, especially since there was a hole in this side. So 1 coat covered really well, especially over this black on the bottom. I'm debating, should we paint this bottom black again or just leave it? We'll see what they say. There it is, coming together. And there you have it. Bumper is done, painted. If you see the light, you can kind of see, you know. But we rebuilt that hole, we rebuilt that body line. I recoated the bottom to match the bus. It's got rhino or whatever the heck, bed liner on the bottom for paint chips. But the paint turned out pretty darn good. So this frame, basically it's got a bumper frame. This corner is a little bent. I bent this back down, bent this in. We're going to see if the holes all line up and see how this goes. I would have filmed more painting, but I got super busy and was, you know, taking breaks to quick throw a coat on and then go work on something else. But this is what we came up with. Looking straight down at it, you can see that fog light holes, not 100% perfectly round, but I mean, for my first time ever doing that, I think it turned out pretty good. So, you know, I'm practicing on a $180,000 bus, but you know, it turned out, I'm happy with it. That was a single stage paint as well. It's extremely shiny for being single stage, and we're about to see how well it matches. I don't know if you can see both in the picture. So I'll get this on, we'll take a look at how it matches. Hopefully it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. So this bumper frame is kind of tweaked over in this corner. Trying to get that bolt lined up. These are nice because they slide wherever they land, they land. And then I've got this one that has to line up, and this bolt hole right here that has to line up. That side all went together beautifully. This side I had to do some bendificating, making it fit, but we got all the bolts in loose. I'm gonna start tightening them up, see how this goes. Dang, single stage for the win. Look at that. What a match, really. That thing looks awesome. Try to compare the shine. This is obviously dirty, but look at that match. I'm impressed, actually. It helps when you get good paint, and that, well, I guess it was Nason, so it's not like the best paint, but it's not the worst. And you can see there was a hole right there. We are currently trying to fix the headlight so we can put that back in. And there it is, with a little tweaking of the light brackets, new fog lights. I had to tweak the bottom right bracket. This thing is together. You can see this headlight here, the magnetizing bulb is flipped in there. Tried to order a new headlight, but can't get them, I guess. So it's on back order. That will be here, but for now, it's all working. Flashers work, blinkers. I'm actually really happy with how this bumper came out. I think I've always wanted to build a wide body kit out of fiberglass on a car, and I've, you know, never had the confidence to do it. Looking at this now, it doesn't look bad. We reconstructed the top of the light hole, that body line there, all that was missing, and made it out of fiberglass, basically going by eye. The paint match is spot on perfect. So thank you guys for letting me experiment on your $180,000 bus. I'm glad it worked out well. But it looks good. With that, I'm going to end this video. But let me know what you guys think. Should we build a wide body kit? Should we build something out of fiberglass? Because now I've got the itch. I really want to do it. Let me know in the comments. Peace.